Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. We're going to talk about why trillions of dollars is pretty much coming guaranteed to come into the crypto market over the next several years. And we're also going to talk about how this will impact the broader job market and basically the world at large, because it's going to be a new class of jobs and it's all going to use NFTs and most likely cryptocurrencies. And I think this will actually have people dealing with cryptocurrencies in everyday lives, maybe even more than fiat. And I'm talking about the upcoming metaverse. We know that many jobs are going obsolete. It's kind of like when you have motor cars, then horse and buggy people are not going to have too many jobs left. It's not even like you're mechanically replacing that, but it's just like that line of work is out. And I think that's going to happen to many jobs, whether by automation or other means, or they just got obsolete. A lot of people are going to lose jobs that way. And the jobs that are created in the real world aren't going to offset the jobs actually nixed by technology. Now, the thing is, like, there's new job openings, like, obviously, like, video creation and content on YouTube is one of the options that you can actually take for a job. But not everyone can do that. There are a lot of losers for every winner that's actually out there. And most of people will not be able to make a living off of that. A couple of us will, and we make pretty nice livings, but many people will not be able to do that. The thing is, that's just a rule. I think people are going to have to diversify out. Content creation obviously isn't for everyone, but there's going to be a new class of jobs involving NFTs, metaverses, and basically like cryptocurrency. And that is actually in metaverse games. Remember, a metaverse is kind of like a universe in of itself. And the thing is, like, there's going to be virtual jobs, meta jobs. Like, you can't work at a real McDonald's, but you might be able to work at a, like, I guess, virtual McDonald's. I know that sounds weird, especially to older people, but it's going to happen. Like, people are already buying virtual property for tens of thousands of dollars. Some virtual property is selling for more than real property is worth. So you can see the economic model developing there. And I think the regulations are going to pass on this sooner or later. Remember, like 10, 20 years ago, like, they already kind of started this by selling items in WoW or Diablo on eBay and stuff. This is just a huge expansion of that with the proper technology. And with blockchain and cryptocurrency, you're seeing that kind of play out, because these metaverses are not going to deal with US dollars. They're going to deal with the blockchain cryptocurrency and these NFT items that people are going to mint in the metaverse. Like, people will actually mint an NFT as like a piece of furniture or something. And because people spend so much time online, so much time immersed in the metaverse, and let's face it, like, the younger generation just spends more and more and more time online. Like, I actually spend most of my time outdoors because, I like the real world and stuff. I don't not really trapped completely in the virtual world, even though I use the computer for a living, like many of us do. But, I spend a lot of my time, like all my free time and even a lot of my work time outdoors because I like the real world. But that's getting less and less common with the younger generation. Yes, there's still people who will obviously work real jobs because there's still people who have to maintain the infrastructure and, like maintain like hospitals, restaurants, and all that. But a lot of the jobs are going to move into the virtual domain. And the thing is, like, they have a lot, like, the creators of these metaverses have a lot of control over the meta domain. Like, if they don't want automation in their metaverse, like, if you're like creating a medieval metaverse and a lot of people are actually living in it and playing it from day to day, obviously you're not going to have the problems with automation. Because there'll be certain people to fulfill certain jobs. Now, I guess they could program bots to do those jobs, but I do think like it can become pretty obvious, like, that someone's using a bot to do it, and you can actually kind of just discriminate or filter that stuff out. So they can actually have somewhat of a bot-free environment, and all those jobs are going to have to be taken up by real people. And the thing is, like, just like people will pay people to serve them in the real world, people will pay people to serve them in the virtual world as well, especially if they're spending so much time on the computer anyways and so much time immersed in these metaverses. These metaverses might actually become their life. So, you have like virtual burger flippers or virtual like chefs, virtual squires, virtual weaponsmiths. You can actually see all this stuff coming, because when I see some of these metaverses, I see like, you can buy plots of land, you can buy certain items, you can buy certain food, spells, whatever, whichever metaverse you're in. And that leads the way to basically people essentially almost never having to, well, I won't say never having to interact with the real world, but like interacting more with their metaverse in their virtual world more so than their real world. I think it's kind of sad, honestly, but I know it's actually happening because, young people, they just completely, a lot of young people there, they aren't really that socially adept. and they basically immerse themselves in the virtual world. So you can see that's going to be a big, big thing. And I don't think there's really any way to stop it now. In these metaverses, obviously, you're dealing with a cryptocurrency and not fiat. You're dealing with NFTs and not real items. And I think as time goes on, there will be a significant portion of the population that deals with like these cryptocurrencies and and the NFT monies more than real money. And that at that point, I mean, US dollars could be kind of like a bridge token. Well, it will be, US dollars will be the bridge token for all these random ass like NFTs and cryptocurrencies, because like you can use US dollars to buy any of these, honestly. So it'll actually become like the bridge currency for all these NFT games. So that'll be an interesting economy. That's actually my prediction for the future. And maybe like another generation or so, that like the actual economies that spur up in these NFT games, you'll actually use the in-game money that you can actually sell and trade for US dollars, and then like the US dollar will actually become the bridge currency between all these NFT games, because that's the one that's still recognized by the federal government. But that's basically going to be a trade-in dollar when you actually won't need to buy things in the world. You'll need to use the dollar as well, obviously. But people are going to be spending so much time in these games that they're just going to be using the US dollar as a go-between to trade between different currencies, at least in the United States. In other countries, they'll use like that country's money. So fiat money will actually become more of a bridge currency, whereas like in metaverse, you'll actually use these blockchain currencies. So I think that's how the world will actually more transition to crypto, because metaverses will force you to actually use their currency. And I think many people will oblige, just like people do like WoW Gold or whatever. They'll actually be like, it'll be like that, but like much, much more in depth. And since people are spending so much time there, they'll just get used to actually using this money. Now, some merchants and stores might actually be able to send you real food for this metaverse money too. But I think like using the US dollar as a bridge for all this stuff, because the government kind of like recognized money, will actually be like the way this works. Now, that's my prediction for the future. So let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.